A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. For Jerry of the Circus.
Oh, Splinter! Help! Somebody help me! I can't hold out of here!
Hold on, Jerry! I'm coming! Hold tight!
Hurry up!
Only just a second longer, Jerry. I'll grab that pony. Whoa there! Whoa! Now you can let yourself down, Jerry. I ought to smack this horse a good one right in the nose. Going away like that.
No, don't hit him, Spike. He couldn't help it. I didn't have the saddle tight enough. He's just a colt and he doesn't know any better. This is only the second time he's been ridden.
Take it easy, doggy. The boy's all right.
Yeah, I'm all right, Rag. Just a little out of breath, though.
Just sit down on the ground there till you get your breath back. Well, hello, Rags. Give me your paw. Why, he did it. He gave me his paw.
Sure, I taught him good manners.
I'll say you did. Say, he's a swell little dog. I can't say as much for this horse of yours.
Oh, Splendor's all right. And you don't have to hold on to him, Spike. He won't run away.
Oh, I don't know about that. He ran away with you, didn't he?
No, he didn't run away. He just got excited when the saddle slipped. He just kept going around in a circle.
Yeah, that's right. Well, all right then. I'll let loose of him. Go ahead and eat some grass, Pony.
I don't know how to thank you for saving me.
Forget it, Jerry. I was glad I happened to be coming by this way and heard you hollering. Besides, this makes us even now.
What do you mean, Spike?
Well, you sort of saved my life, too.
I saved your life?
Sure. And you got me this job.
I didn't get it for you. Mr. Murray just told me to go look for a strong man to take Zeke's place. And you were looking for work, so I told you Mr. Murray was looking for a man.
Well, anyway, I'm awful thankful to you. I needed a job pretty bad, Jerry. This job means everything to me.
You did look kind of hungry and sort of pale.
Well, I was more than hungry and pale, Jerry. I was desperate. I just had to find work.
Golly, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. And I got plenty of business to attend to.
Must be important, huh?
It is important, Jerry. I've got to see a man. He doesn't expect me, and I don't think he's as anxious to see me as I am to see him. But I'm going to see him.
Is he a friend of yours?
Hardly.
Rags, come here. Keep away from Splendor.
Looks like Rags kind of likes that pony. He doesn't take his eyes off him.
Rags is real friendly. He likes most everybody.
I think he took a shine to me. He gave me his paw and wagged his tail like he was greeting an old friend.
Sure he likes you, Spike.
You really think he does?
I'm sure of it. Here, Rags, come here. I can tell by the way he acts.
Well, that makes me feel pretty good, Jerry.
Why?
Well, because they say dogs have a pretty good sense. I mean they can judge humans.
You mean that they only like nice people?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, I guess that's right. Because when we first joined the circus, there was a man named Lorenz who was awful mean. And Rags didn't like him right from the start.
Yeah?
Uh-huh. And finally, Lorenz held up Bennett, the paymaster, and stole the payroll money.
You don't say.
Yeah, but they caught him all right, and now he's in jail for about 20 years, I think.
Come here, Rags. Nice fella. You're all right.
See his tail wag? He sure does like you, Spike.
And if I was bad, he'd growl at me, wouldn't he?
He sure would.
Huh. Too bad they don't use dogs on juries so they can pick the right man.
What do you mean, Spike?
Oh, nothing. Oh, how do you feel now? You got your breath back?
Yeah, I feel all right. I guess I better get Splendor now and tie him up in the horse stand.
Oh, I'll get him for you.
Okay. Well, Rags, I guess I was pretty lucky that Spike came along and saved me, huh?
Come on, Jerry.
Okay.
This little pony seems to be gentle enough.
Oh, sure. He's a grand little horse. Aren't you, Splendor?
Well, I declare, it looks like he knows what you're saying to him.
He does. He's smart. Come on, Rags.
Say, you seem to get along with animals mighty fine.
I guess that's because I love them.
Yeah, that might be. Say, hold that canvas to one side, Jerry.
Okay.
Now, where's he go?
Just tie him up right here. Wait, I'll get his rope halter.
Okay. I'll take this bridle off, and you slip the halter on him.
There we are, Splendor.
Now, I guess we better get this saddle off. I don't guess it's any too comfortable to have it hanging on him like this.
Yeah, poor Splendor. I'll bet he was more scared than I was when the saddle slid.
I guess you got it figured out right, Jerry. That's why he started running around like he did. I thought at first maybe he spilled you on purpose.
Oh, no, he wouldn't do that.
Well, here you are. Where's the saddle go?
Just put it down right there.
That's that.
Goodbye, Splendor. See you later. And the next time we ride, I'll see that the saddle doesn't slip.
We'll ride him again, huh, Jerry?
Sure, why not? Just because something happens once doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
Say, that's mighty good reasoning. Well, you coming?
Uh-huh. Come on, Ray. So long, Splendor.
Guess it's almost time for supper. At least my stomach tells me that.
The flag's not up yet.
It isn't.
Hey, look, there's Bombs.
Well, who's that?
Don't you know Bombs?
No, I don't think I do.
Well, you will in a minute. Hi, boss.
Hello there, Jerry.
Say, he's one of the clowns, ain't he?
Uh-huh.
We all finished working out splendid?
Yeah, but I don't know whether I worked him out or he worked me out. Oh, excuse me. Boss, this is Spike, the new man Mr. Murray got in Zeke's place.
Well, glad to meet you, Spike.
Same here.
Spike just saved my life, Boss.
Oh, no, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, well, the flag's up. Let's go eat.
And I won't have to be invited twice. Come on.
Come on, Ray.
Well, you ever been with the circus before, Spike?
No, I haven't, Bumps. This is the first time, and I think I'm going to like it.
Sure you will. There's just something about a circus and circus people that, well, it sort of gets under your skin.
What was the last job you had, Spike?
Why, I haven't had a good job since, I guess it's been over 4 years, Jerry.
Well, I guess things have been pretty tough. It's not so easy to find something to do.
You were lucky Mr. Murray needed a man.
Yes, I was. Very lucky.
Well, Paul's a nice fellow to work for, too. He's easy to get along with, and if you get along with him, you can stay with this outfit as long as you like.
Well, that's swell, but, I don't think I'll join out again next season.
Spike has some business to attend to.
Oh, that's so? Well, every man to his own liking. I, for one, wouldn't give 2 cents to have to live and work in a big city all the time. I guess the travel bug has bitten me pretty hard. I really enjoy going from one town to the other and seeing new places all the time.
I do, too. I think the circus is great. Why, I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Well, you see there, Spike? It's in Jerry's blood already. The boy's doomed to spend his life with a circus.
Well, he could spend his life a whole lot worse.
Yeah, you're right there. A circus isn't the worst place in the world.
There's no telling what I might turn out to be. I might be a lion tamer like Jason when I grow up, or a trick rider, or maybe an aerialist.
Well, how about a tightrope walker, or maybe even a clown?
Sure, I might be a clown. I'd like to be a clown.
Yeah, but you haven't made up your mind yet, huh?
No. Hey, look, Bumps. There's Mr. Bradley heading for the mess stand.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Johnny. Hey, wait for us. We'll go in and eat with you.
What? Why, I thought I was the first one to see the flag go up.
Not while Jerry has a good pair of eyes. I think his stomach tells his eyes to watch that flag all day.
Oh, yeah? Well, it wasn't me who saw the flag go up. It was you, wasn't it, Spike?
Well, I guess that's right. He's got you this time, Bump.
Yeah, Jerry doesn't like to be kidded about eating so much, but I go right on kidding him.
Greetings, friends. We do now go forth to partake of the culinary achievements of our splendid chefs.
Well, could you say that in plainer English, Johnny?
To be sure, why, I can put it this way. We are now going into the mess tent to sample the victuals and find out what the spread is for tonight.
That's better. We understand you now.
Well, shall we go in?
Well, here's where we part company. I go in the long end.
Oh, Spike, did you ever work for Randall before?
Nope. This is my first job with any circus. Why?
Oh, well, I'm just trying to place you, that's all. Thought maybe we'd work together at some time or other.
No, I don't think that could be. Well, I'll see you later.
Bye, Spike. And thanks again for saving
Oh,
me.
yeah, thanks, Spike.
Don't mention it.
Rags, You run over the wagon now, and maybe I'll bring you a nice bone if I can get one for you. Go on, be a good dog now.
Spike's face is surely familiar to me.
Oh, he probably looks like someone you know.
Yes, maybe so. Say, what's this about your thanking him for saving you, Jerry?
Oh, I was riding Splendor out in back of the horse stand. I didn't get the cinch strap tight enough, and the saddle slipped.
Spike just happened along in time to catch the pony and save Jerry from a bad bump.
Well, now, think of that.
Well, here we are. Sit down there, Jerry.
Okay.
I take it then you're not such a very good horseman, Jerry.
I am, too. It was just an accident.
Oh, I see.
It's a pretty sure thing it won't happen again, though.
Well, I'll say it won't. I'll make double sure to get that cinch strap good and tight next time.
Ah, here comes the food.
Evening, gentlemen.
Well, hello, Bismarck. What's on the bill of fare?
Yes, sir, I'm lamb stew, and it am really
It
fine.
looks mighty good, Bismarck.
It's the best as you ever tasted, yes, sir.
Golly, that's a funny name, Bismarck. Is that really his name?
Oh, I don't think so, Jerry. He was probably picked up in Bismarck, North Dakota, when he first joined out with the show. You know, circus folks have a habit of calling newcomers by the name of the town they came from.
Oh, so that's it. That's why they call the guard that works for Olson. What's his name now? Oh, yeah, Springfield.
Yeah, that's right, Jerry. He most likely joined us in Springfield.
One of the Razorbacks is called Chickasha.
That's a funny name.
Say, this is good. Hand me a piece of that bread, Jerry.
Yeah, here you are. Want some milk?
Yeah, you just pour me some, Jerry.
You too, Mr. Bradley?
What's that? Oh, yes. Thank you, Jerry.
I'm sure hungry tonight.
Tonight? Aren't you hungry every night?
Aw, Bumps, quit kidding me.
Well, I heard one of the cooks say his food bill went up quite a bit since you joined the show.
He did, huh?
Yes, he did.
Well, I don't eat any more than you do.
Well, that's quite a bit for a boy. Oh, say, Johnny, why aren't you eating? Your food will get cold.
Oh, I was just thinking.
This lamb stew is swell, Mr. Bradley.
Well, it must be something awfully important on your mind, keeping you from these fine victuals that you've gone.
Say, Jerry,
Yeah?
remember that poster we saw down at the post office in the last town we played?
You mean the one with the picture of the man that was wanted for breaking jail?
Yes, that's the one. And you said you thought you knew who it was or had seen him.
Uh-huh. What about it?
Well, I think I know who that man is. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm going to find out. Find out for sure if I'm right.
Golly, well, who do you think it is?
Well, I'll tell you just as soon as I'm a little more certain.
The Jack Benny Program. Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Yes, sir.
You said it.
In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Year after
yes,
year.
Today, tomorrow, always, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Year after year and auction after auction, independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
This fine Lucky Strike tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
American.
Just sit there, Benny, and keep your trap shut.
Yeah, one false move and we'll slug you.
But, fellas, please, untie me. My program is on. I should be there. I'll lose my job if I miss my first broadcast. You're going to miss them all, Benny. What?
You ain't gonna drive us nuts anymore.
For 15 years, we've been listening to that. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking. Well, we've had enough of it, see?
Yeah, let's bump them off.
No. Please don't kill me. I don't want to die. Spare my life. I'll make it worth your while. I'll give you each $10. Please, fellas, don't kill me.
Go ahead, Joe. Let him have it. Wait a minute. We ain't had no fun. Let's torture him first.
Okay. I'll burn him with my cigarette.
No,
don't burn me. Don't burn me. Don't. What kind of a cigarette?
A Lucky Strike.
Okay, burn me. Burn me where it'll show. After all, Lucky Strikes are made of the light, that night, that fine, that naturally mild light. Let go of my tongue. What's the matter with you guys, anyway?
All right, Joe. We've stalled long enough. Lift him out of the chair and lay him on a table. Okay, but I want to do a neat job on this guy. Hand me my rubber gloves. Here.
No, don't kill me. I'll make it $11. I mean it.
Ready. Knife, axe, poison, rope, knife.
You got that already.
Thanks.
Please, fellas.
Gun, bullet. Atomic bomb.
What?
Give it to him. Boss, wake up. Boss, wake up.
Huh? What? Oh, it's you, Rochester.
Yeah.
Gee, what a nightmare I just had. I was with two fellas, two of them. What a horrible dream.
Did you get stuck with the jet again?
No, nothing like that. I dreamt I was held captive by a couple of thugs. They were going to keep me from going back on the air. It was terrible.
It must have been, boss. You look pale. Sick. Let me see your tongue. Fingerprints.
That's funny. There shouldn't be. You wore rubber gloves.
What'd you say?
Oh, nothing. You weren't there.
Doggone, boss. That sure must have been a realistic dream. Look how you thrashed around in the bed.
Yeah.
You even pulled an arm off your teddy bear.
Oh, darn it. And I've had it ever since I was 30. What a nightmare. Seems like I always dream like that before an opening broadcast. Well, I better start getting dressed. Oh. Rochester, I told you to shorten my nightgown. Why didn't you?
I was going to, boss, but I hate to cut those rosebuds off the bottom.
Oh. Well, get the car, Rochester, and as soon as I get dressed, we'll go to the studio.
Yes, sir.
Drive carefully, Rochester. I'm nervous. You know how it is before an opening broadcast.
What are you worrying about, boss? You've been on the radio 15 years.
Well, They ain't found out by now, they ain't never going to find out.
I guess now, but take it easy anyway. I don't want to have a lot of... Rochester, when you come to an intersection, blow your horn.
I can't. The rubber bulb is broken.
Well, then put it in your mouth and blow it.
Patrilla won't let me.
Anyway, here we are at NBC. Want to come in and watch the show, Rochester?
No thanks, boss. I'll sit here and listen to it on the radio.
Okay. The earphones are in the glove compartment. Here's the key.
Good luck, boss.
Thanks. Take back your samba, hi, your rumba, hi, your conga, hi, yi, yi. Take back your samba.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Benny.
Yes?
May I have your autograph, please?
An autograph? Certainly.
Would you mind signing it in this pail of water? I want to try out my new pants.
Sure, just a minute. I'll pull up my sleeve. There you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take back your rumba, hi, your samba, hi. See, those pens are becoming popular. Maybe I ought to do some jokes about them on my program. Nah, the public isn't ready for it yet. Take back your samba, hi, your rumba, hi, your conga, hi. Hiya, Don.
Well, hello, Jack.
Well. Well, Don, we'll be on the air in a few minutes.
Yes, sir. How does it feel getting back in the groove again, Jack?
Well, to tell you the truth, Don, I'm a little excited. I mean, I feel good, but I don't know, I got a nervous stomach.
I know just how you feel, Jack. I got a nervous stomach, too.
Well, you're just about 30 inches more nervous than I am. But you'll be all right. Sit down. Have you got everything all set for your part of the program? You know, just the way you want it?
I sure have, Jack. And I took the liberty of hiring a quartet to work with me during the commercials.
A quartet? For the commercial?
Oh, I knew you'd like it. So I'll tell you what I did, Jack. I put them under contract for 8 weeks, and it will cost you only $500 a week. Isn't that wonderful?
Why, yes. I mean, yes. But, Don, that quartet must be sensational for that kind of money.
Oh, they are, Jack. This will start a new style in radio. Talking commercials with a big vocal background. You'll be crazy about it.
I know, but $500 a week for 8 weeks. Well, if it's as good as you say, Don, it might be worth it. How much time we got before we go on the air?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
I'll have the orchestra warm up. I'll be right out.
Okay.
Take back your samba, hi, your rumba, hi, your conga. $500 for a quartet. Hi, yi, yi. I can't keep moving. Hi, my chassis, hi any longer. Hi, yi.
It's almost time.
Coming!
All right, everybody, stand by.
Take it, boys.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Denny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. ladies and gentlemen, it has been said that Jack Benny has made more people laugh than any other comedian who ever lived. And now we bring you the man who said it, Jack Benny!
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, for our first show, that was a very nice introduction, but I wish you wouldn't make people think that I'm conceited enough to say that I made more people laugh than any other comedian. I mean, it's true, but I didn't say it. Well, Don, here I am starting my 15th year... My 15th year in radio. And, Don, just think, for 13 of those years, you've been with me.
I know, Jack, and I'll always be grateful.
Well.
Why, when I started out with you 13 years ago, I was just a little nobody. And look at me today. A big fat slob.
Oh, don't thank me, Don. I'd have done the same for anybody. And, Don, the nice part of our association is that it's always been so pleasant and happy. I mean, I don't know. I like just being around you, especially when you laugh. You know, I haven't heard you laugh for 17 weeks. Go ahead, Don, laugh.
Oh, no, Jack, you
Come on, Don, come on, laugh. Come on. Oh, come on. No, laugh some more. Come on, Don. No, Don, hard, real hard this time. Harder, Don, harder. Now, to you people sitting in the audience, if you ever want to get in here again, that's what I mean. And, Don, I know it's a little early in the show, but I want to hear this idea you have for the commercial. You know, with the quartet. You know, after all, it's $500. Are the boys ready?
Oh, yes, they're still rehearsing, but they'll be here in just a few minutes.
Good. I can... Oh, well, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Don.
Hello. Mary, I haven't seen you in 4 months. Let me look at you. Gee, you look swell. You look wonderful. Different. What have you done to yourself?
Well, Jack, this summer I really took it easy and I gained 12 pounds.
12 pounds. Let me look at you again. Yes, sir. And your face looks fuller, too. Come here, Mary. Come here. Let me see if I can still get my arm around you.
Oh, Jack, don't be so silly.
Now, come here, Mary. Come here. Jack, he's got you now.
Oh, Jack, now stop it. Ooh, you're so strong.
Come here. Give me a kiss.
Jack, you're hurting me. Where'd you get those muscles?
Eastern Columbia, Broadway at 9. Now, come on. It's a swell department store. Come here, Mary. Come on. Now, give me a kiss. A nice big one.
Oh, all right.
Come on. There.
Gee, what a kiss. What's come over you?
I don't know. I'm nervous. Maybe it's the quiver you like. Anyway, Mary, tell me, what did you do all summer?
Well, I worked most of the time. I got laryngitis and made a lot of money.
You got laryngitis, made a lot of... What did you do?
I tiptoed into radio studios and whispered Martha Ivers.
Oh, was that you? Say, Mary, you glad to be back on the program again?
I sure am.
I am, too. But you know, Mary, I must admit I'm a little nervous about the opening show.
Jack, if you think you're nervous, what about Phil Harris? He has 2 opening shows today.
Well, as a rule, I'm not... What? What did you say?
Phil has 2 opening shows, yours and the Fitch Bandwagon. He has his own program.
Phil has his own program? Gee, I didn't know that. That's gratitude for you. The least he could have done is let me know. Could have dropped me a postcard.
I called you up.
No, my phone's disconnected during the summer. His own program. Phil. Gosh, Mary, what in the world can Phil do for a full half hour?
I don't know, but if he adds 2 more choruses to That's What I Like About the South, he's in.
I can't get over it. So Phil has his own program.
Do you mind?
Of course not. I like to see people get ahead. I want everyone to be a success. In fact, I'd even like to see Dennis Day get his own show.
He has.
What? Mary, did I hear you correctly?
If that thing in your ear is connected, you did.
Mary, this is no time to be funny. You're kidding about Dennis, aren't you?
No, he starts his own program Thursday night for Colgate. You're not mad, are you?
Well, of course I'm not mad. To be in fine shape if I let little things like that bother me. What do you think keeps me looking so young and strong?
Eastern Columbia, Broadway at night.
And besides that. Anyway, with me, it's just a matter of principle, that's all. If Phil and Dennis feel that they can go on their own shows and get laughs, it's all right with me. I don't care. Say, perhaps the little chicks feel that the nest that I built is too small, and that they no longer need the sheltering wing of the mother hen.
You lay an egg, I'm going to punch you right in the nose.
Mary, I was just being...
Well, Jack, we can do the commercial now. The quartet's ready.
Oh, good. Mary, I want you to hear this. This is the new commercial Don thought of with a quartet behind it. I got him tied up for 8 weeks at $500 a week. Go ahead, Don. Let's hear it.
Okay. Ready, boys? Let's go. LS-MFT, LS-MFT. Yes, sir, you bet. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in a cigarette it's the tobacco that counts. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. Lucky Strikes are made of that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. So for real deep-down smoking enjoyment, smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
For this, I'm paying $500?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, quality of product is essential to continuing success. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Wait a minute. Don, is that all?
Yes.
For that, I'm paying $500 a week for 8 weeks? Stand aside, Don. I want to talk to this quartet. Listen, fellas, if you think I'm going to pay you $500 a week just for that, you're crazy. Now cut that out! And get out of here. John, I thought you had something...
Hiya, Jackson. Hello, folks. Don't feel low. You'll soon hear Harris on his very own show, and hallelujah. Yes, sir. We lay that beautiful old program applause on me. Believe me, know it. Make me know it.
Phil, Mary told me all about it. And I'd like to have a little talk with you about your own show.
Sorry, Jack, I ain't using no stooges.
I don't want to talk to you about that. Yet. I only want to know one thing. You've been with me for 9 years. Why did you go out and take another show?
M-O-N-E-Y. M-O-N-E-Y.
So that's why, eh? Well, that's the trouble with you, Phil. All you think about is money. Women and money.
Well, I don't know of a better parlay. Do you, Bub?
I knew I didn't have that nightmare for nothing.
Hello, Dante.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Livy.
Hello, Phil. You look great. Doesn't he, Jack?
Yeah, he looks swell.
Did you go away for the summer, Phil?
Yeah, I sure did, Livy. We were there, just the two of us, and we really had a wonderful time.
Just the two of you? Who'd you go with?
Ray Milan.
You and Ray Milan?
Yeah, we lost all of July and part of August.
Well, of all the good you're going to do me, you could have lost September and October, too.
Now, Mr. Benny, please don't be facetious.
Oh, fine. But, Phil, where'd you get a word like that?
My uncle died and left it to me.
Oh, congratulations.
But you know, Jackson, it's mighty good to see the old gang again, and I can't begin to... Say, who are these four guys?
I told you to get out of here! Quartet, $500. 8 weeks yet. Where's Dennis? It's time for a song. He's not here yet.
Well, I saw him this morning. He was going to rehearse for his own program.
His own program. What should I do with my program?
No coaching from the audience.
Oh, right. Well, I'm going to call Dennis's house and find out why he's not here. Operator.
Oh, Mabel, what is it, Gertrude? Page B is flashing. It must be Mr. Benny. Oh, yeah. I wonder what Notorious wants now. I'll find out. Yes, Mr. Benny. Who? Dennis Day. I'll try and get him for you. Gee, Mabel, don't it feel strange getting back to work after vacation? I'll say, but I really enjoyed myself. I spent 2 lovely weeks at Lake Winnebago in the Pines. It sure was invigorating. Where did you go, Gertrude? I spent my 2 weeks in the mountains at Ginsberg's Rest. And what did you do? Ginsberg let me alone, so I rested. Gertrude, I had a wonderful time. Every day I went swimming. Look, here's a picture of me in my bathing suit. Oh, boy, what a picture. Doesn't even look like you. Where'd you get those beautiful curves? Eastern Columbia, Broadway at 9. Well, what do you know?
Operator.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Benny. Dennis Day does not answer.
Okay. How do you like that? A fine program. You think at least everybody in my cast would show up on time.
Who's late, Mr. Benny?
Dennis Day. Should have been here an hour ago.
Why don't you call him?
I did. I just tried. Dennis! Where have you been? Dennis, I just tried to get you on the phone to find out that why you... Hey, wait a minute, kid. You're soaking wet. Is it raining out?
No, a man asked me for my autograph and I fell in.
You're so nervous. It's not your own show yet, you know. That's what Get nervous on your own show. Listen, Dennis, there's something I want to talk to you about. Why did you go out and get your own program without consulting me?
Well...
And after all I've done for you. I found you when you were just a kid. I groomed you for radio. I gave you your big chance. I let you sing on the air every Sunday. I've been doing this for you, kid, for 8 years. Now, why did you go out and take another show?
I was hungry.
You silly boy. Why didn't you tell me you were hungry?
Yeah, Mother Hen Benny could have laid you a couple of eggs.
Mary, this is no time to be facetious. Now, Dennis, Phil, stop taking bows. I knew that word before you did.
You knew it before Webster did.
Yes, all right. Now, Dennis, I want to tell you something. And, Phil, this goes for you, too. You can all have your own shows if you want. If necessary, I'll get myself a new cast, new people. People who can get laughs, like the Mad Russian, like Senator Claghorn.
Somebody said Claghorn.
I said it, and I'm going to get...
Out with it, son, out with it.
I'm going to get...
Your mouth wide open, but your tongue's on
Look, I'm going to get...
That's why you can't express yourself. Harold, that is.
Oh, what's the use? What's the use? This is a fine how do you do.
How do you do?
Dennis, stop! Now, listen, I meant what I said, and that goes for everybody here. And you 4 guys, too. Oh, for heaven's sake. Go ahead and sing, Dennis. I'm going home. Come on, Mary. I'll drive you home.
A rose must remain with the sun and the rain, or its lovely promise won't come true. Sweet is on, and my own is you. What good is a song if the words just don't belong? And a dream must be a dream
no good alone to each his own. For me, there's you. If a flame is to grow, there must be a glow. To open each door, there's a key. I need you, I know. I can't let you go. Your touch means so much to me. So lips must insist on two more to be kissed, for they'll never know what love can do. To each his own, I found my own, one and only you.
Take it easy, Rochester. Nice song Dennis picked for his first show. To each his own show. It's a fine season I'm going to have. Phil's got his own show. Dennis has his own show. I don't know why they had to go out and get their own programs anyway.
Well, Jack, what are you so mad at them for? Don Wilson has 4 shows, and you're not mad at him.
He pays me commission. Rochester, leave Miss Livingston off first and then take me home.
Yes, sir.
And take it easy, Rochester, will you?
Oh, Jack, stop being so nervous and upset.
Why wouldn't I be upset? Nobody thinks of me. Phil has his own show. Dennis has his own show. My writers are still stranded on the gambling ship. Stuck with a lousy quartet. This can go on week after week, month after month, year after year. That's radio for you. It's enough to drive a guy crazy.
Well, then why don't you quit?
I will not.
Every year the same thing.
Just a moment, but first, here's my good friend L.A. Speed Riggs.
Make no mistake. In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Mr. Charles Jackson Gunter of Mount Airy, North Carolina, who has been an independent tobacco buyer for 53 years, said,
Season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy tobacco that's really tops in smoking quality. Fine, ripe, smooth smoking tobacco that pays off in extra smoking enjoyment. I've smoked Lucky's myself for 29 years.
Independent tobacco experts like Mr. Gunter know that it takes fine tobacco to make a fine smoke. Yes, in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The famous tobacco auctioneers were on tonight's programmer, Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs of Goldsboro, North Carolina. And Mr. F.E. Boone of Lexington, Kentucky.
That's 60, $60, American.
Basil Rysdale speaking for Lucky Strike, the cigarette that means fine tobacco.
Say, boss, are you going out for dinner or are you going to stay home?
No, I think I'll go out.
Oh, with Miss Livingston?
No, she said she was going to bed early. Well, I'll call up and get a date.
Hello. National Broadcasting Company.
Hello, Mabel?
No, this is Gertrude.
Oh, let me talk to Mabel.
I'm sorry she left.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting.
KFI Los Angeles, Earl C. Anthony Incorporated.
Autolite and its 98,000 dealers bring you Mr. Jack Benny in tonight's presentation of Suspense. Tonight, Autolite, following a popular trend, anticipates the strange disappearance of experimental rocket ship Y272B. The time, the year 2053. The place, the planet Mars. The star, Mr. Jack Benny. Say, Hap, that was quite a speech you made last night. You were as dynamic as an Autolite Stay-Full battery.
Oh, that's flattery, Harlow.
And what a battery it is, Hap. The Autolite Stay-Full is the power-packed pepster that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
That was really good, Harlow?
Oh, no one could do any better than to visit his nearest Autolite battery dealer, who services all makes of batteries. To quickly locate him, just call Western Union by number.
And ask for operator 25. I'll tell you the name of your nearest Autolite battery dealer where you can get an Autolite Stay-Full.
The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite. And now, Autolite presents transcribed Plan X, starring Mr. Jack Benny, hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
The card. Do you have the card yet?
One more run through the machine.
Tourig, when do you think the Earth rocket is arriving?
Tomorrow. But if the Grand Council wanted the card before now, they should have asked me before now.
Is that it? Let me see it.
Here.
13756. Zeno. Assembly line worker. Atomic escalator factory. Tourig, this is the man for the job?
He has the specifications called for.
An assembly line worker. Why, it's incredible. Incredible.
Yes? Yes? Right away. You may go in now, Zeno. The Grand Council is ready for you.
(13756) called Zeno. Come forward.
Yes, sir.
Zeno, the Grand Council of Mars has a mission for you to perform.
Me? A mission?
You have been selected because of the qualities shown on your work and identity card, Form 42-A. Set habit patterns, attention to detail, no strong emotional or biological drives, and complete suppression of imagination.
Well, I always pride myself
Do not
that
speak unless questioned, Zeno. The Grand Council has other important matters of state.
Of course, of course.
You have heard the telephone broadcast that an armed rocket from the planet Earth is approaching Mars?
Oh, I did hear something about it, yes.
Their course has been plotted as bringing them to a landing on the plain outside the city at 10:14 tomorrow morning.
10:14. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
You will see it, Citizen Zeno.
Me?
You.
Well, I'd certainly like to, but I'm due in the atomic escalator factory at 8. I'm on stair treads, you know. And
we've arranged a leave from your job.
Leave? Well, I'm not arguing with the Grand Council, but I've got a pretty important job there, and...
13756, you've been selected to meet and deal with the Earth rocket.
Me?
You will put Plan X into operation.
Plan X?
Citizen Zeno, every Martian for the last 50 years has been thoroughly grounded in Plan X, if and when a rocket should come from the Earth.
Oh, Plan X. Oh, you see, I thought you said Plan X. Of course.
Then you understand and accept the responsibility.
Oh, anything to help out.
Those assisting you on the mission will be in contact with you.
Good.
Have the other council members any questions?
No, I don't believe so.
13756 called Zeno. You are now officially operating under the provisions of Plan X.
Well, thank you. I took the aerial transmission belt directly home. Let them get along without me at the escalator factory if they could. Besides, it was almost quitting time. I went to bed early that night. Tomorrow was going to be a big day. Plan X. Out of the whole population of Mars, I was picked to carry out Plan X. Oh, I'll admit I had my criticisms of the Grand Council in the past, but this restored my confidence in them. Yes, sir. They couldn't have picked a better Martian. I think I'll have a second cup of ostrich, Mother.
Zeno, you hadn't time. You'll be late for the factory as it is.
As I told you, Mother, I'm on leave. Orders of the Grand Council.
Oh, yes, of course, Plan X. But will the Grand Council care if you don't get your job back?
There won't be any trouble. They couldn't replace me in stair treads, and they know it. Pass the Gorot, will you, Mother?
Here. But it's fattening, Zeno.
I got a hard task coming up, Mother. I owe it to myself.
And you will be careful, Zeno.
Oh, Mother, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. It's just an invasion rocket from that stupid planet Earth. So will you stop worrying?
Ah, you're just like your father was, Zeno. Too brave for your own good.
I am? Well, it's nothing, really. I took my time going over to the field where the Earth rocket was to land. I got there at 10, with not another soul around. Another few minutes, and I had my pocket radar screen working. Yep, the rocket was coming in, right on time. Then I could hear it out in space, and soon after that I could see it, bearing our first visitors from Earth. Gee, I was thinking they must be a brave crew. I almost felt sorry for them. It wasn't a bad landing. Not the greatest, but not bad. After another 10 minutes, a port in the side of the rocket started to swing open, and I walked over. If I do say it myself, I made quite an impression.
Commander, look. Great Scott, what is it? Commander, I think we've met our first Martian.
All right, keep back, everybody. Dr. Fielding and I will deal with it. Him, whatever it is. Hand me the Martian kit, Parker.
All ready, sir?
Come on, Fielding. Be ready for anything.
Right, Commander.
I'll try to talk to him. We Earth people, we friends. Friends? We come from out there. Oh, blast it, Fielding. I feel like a fool.
Let me try, Commander. We bring you presents. Here. We bring you beads, cloths of many colors. Take them.
You wouldn't have something a little more conservative?
Fielding. He speaks Esperanto.
Incredible.
Gentlemen, welcome to Mars.
It's almost as if he was expecting us.
Oh, yes, for some days now. Ever since you left Earth, as a matter of fact.
You hear that, Fielding?
Commander, we may very well be in the presence of a superior race.
Well, thank you.
You say you expected us? Everyone expected us?
Oh, certainly.
But you're here alone.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, all other adult Martians are, shall we say, unavailable.
For how long?
I'm not wishing to pry, but how long are you staying?
Well, they've taken to the hills, have they? No need to be afraid of us. No need at all.
There's no one in your city over there?
Mainly unavailable. But I'll be glad to show you around. Martian hospitality, you know.
Amazing. Can we go right away, Commander? I'll get Connie.
Well, you can call her, Fielding, but we don't want to blunder into a trap. All right, men. All in. Parker, take 3 men and stay here for rocket guard.
Yes, sir.
Ready, Fielding?
All set, Commander. Connie, I want you to meet our first Martian.
Dr. Fielding, I don't believe it.
Miss Morrison, this is,
13756. Call Zeno.
Miss Morrison, this is Zeno.
How do you do?
Well, how do you do?
Incredible. But he's almost handsome in a strange way. And he speaks our language.
Maybe a trick of some kind.
Expedition force, on to...
It's a little difficult to pronounce.
On to the city.
We marched into the city, which, of course, appeared quite deserted. Plan X. I showed them a few of the sights, the canals, the Og factory, and the hall of the Grand Council. I was walking alongside of Connie, Miss Morrison, who was most unlike the women of Mars. I caught myself showing off, riding the aerial transmission belt with one hand. Finally, I took them all to the Art Museum.
Oh, Commander, this place, this civilization, it's fantastic, fantastic.
Look at this sculpture, Dr. Fielding. The line, the detail. I've never seen anything so beautiful.
It's nothing, really.
Zeno, you don't mean that you...
Well, no. You see, I work at an atomic escalator factory. I'm in stair treads.
Everybody, over here. Look at this.
Oh, what is it? What isn't that what...
Zeno, is this what I think it is?
I'll have to read the nameplate. Oh, yes, a flying saucer. From 1952, your calendar. 100 years old.
1952, the year of the flying saucers. Then they did come from Mars.
Oh, yes.
But none of them ever landed on Earth. Why?
It just didn't seem worthwhile. Nothing personal, of course.
I just can't get over this planet. It's so different from anything we imagined.
Now, here's something you might be interested in. Right over here.
What? Looks like a weapon of some kind.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you see, it's a paralyzer ray. 300 years old.
But why do you have it in a museum?
You don't mean that weapons like this are 300 years obsolete?
Well, you might say that, yes. You see, no adult Martian has carried a weapon for hundreds of years.
Well, why not?
Why should we?
But to defend yourself.
Well, we just have no aggressive impulses, that's all.
Well, if someone struck you, wouldn't you strike back?
I couldn't. But it doesn't matter. No one could strike me.
No Martian, that is.
Yes. We've never had any trouble.
Zeno, you're in the diplomatic service?
The escalator game.
Yet you were delegated to meet us.
Yes, by the Grand Council. You see, we stopped having diplomats handle our important missions years ago. Again, nothing personal, of course.
I see. But you are empowered to deal with us.
Deal with you? I certainly am.
Good. Now, it seems logical to me that we should work out a mutual defense pact. Not right now, of course.
Mr. Zeno! Mr. Zeno!
Who's that?
It looks like children.
We have to see him, Mr. Zeno.
Just some little friends of mine.
Oh, they're darling.
What's the problem, Ormy?
We're building something, and we're all out of uranium. We need some right away, and...
Zeno, does he mean real uranium?
Oh, of course, Dr. Fielding. Oh, it won't hurt them a bit.
We have to have it right away, Mr. Zeno. We just have to have it.
The city was deserted. Where did these children come from?
Oh, you know how it is with kids when they get to playing.
You'll get the uranium for us, won't you, Mr. Zeno? Will you?
Fascinating. What are they playing, Zeno?
Yes. What's the game?
I don't think you've heard of it, Commander. It's called Plan X. For the next week, I showed the Earth expedition around the city, signed a few treaties, and had several long conversations with Miss Morrison. Well, not too long, but I felt we were building a solid friendship. It was too bad it was coming to an end.
You're not going out again this evening, Zeno?
Mother, so I've been out 2 evenings in a row. Doesn't have to be fatal, you know.
This is the time of year you always get that chest cold.
Oh, chest cold. Anyway, Mother, I have to go over to the rocket.
Don't they plan to go back to Earth tomorrow?
They plan to, yes. Miss Morrison promised to take a little farewell walk with me this evening.
Don't let her keep you out in the moonlight too long, Zeno.
Mother, why, that's the most ridiculous thing.
You just don't know how attractive you are.
Now, Mother, Miss Morrison and I are merely friends. And to think of anything beyond that is just...
Mr. Zeno! Mr. Zeno! We're almost finished the game, Mr. Zeno.
Good. All finished, Army?
Just about. It's tomorrow morning at 8:45, isn't it?
8:45. Anything else you need, Army? I mean, any more uranium?
No, I just wanted to make sure it was 8:45. Well, see you in the morning, Mr. Zeno. Goodbye, Mr. Zeno.
See you in the morning, Army.
Such a cute little fellow, Zeno. And smart.
Is he? Mother, you have no idea.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Jack Benny in Plan X. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Say, Harlow, do you like to make speeches?
Sure, Hap, especially about the Autolite Stay Full battery. Friends, Romans, motorists, lend me your ears while I praise the greatest of the great, the incomparable Autolite Stay Full. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. The battery that gives longer life as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
And where can one get this glorious battery?
From your nearest Autolite battery dealer who services all makes of batteries. To quickly locate him, just phone Western Union and ask for operator 25.
And I'll tell you where you can get an Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Jack Benny in Elliot Lewis's production of Plan X, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The Earth expedition was camped beside their rocket, getting ready for takeoff the next day. Connie, Miss Morrison, waved when she saw me coming. I waved back, and she smiled at me, and I smiled back. It was a beautiful evening. We walked out over the plain, Connie and I, and then we sat down quite close. Connie lit a cigarette, and I opened up a package of Gurkhag.
Zeno.
Yes, Connie. Miss Morrison.
Connie. How is it you're not married, Zeno? Don't Martians believe in it?
Oh, definitely. But there's Mother and...
And what?
Connie, you don't find me a little bit strange?
You mean because you're a Martian?
Not exactly. You see, even to Martian girls, I'm a little bit strange.
I find you very attractive, Zeno.
Really?
You're from a superior race?
Well...
The commander may not see it, but Dr. Fielding does, and I do. Your civilization, your culture, and you.
Actually, I'm...
What are the other Martians like? You know, I seem to feel there are people all around watching, waiting, and yet we've seen only you.
And the children, of course.
Yes, and the children. They've been playing around the rocket all day.
Yes.
Zeno, what'll happen to this planet, this beautiful planet, when the next Earth rocket comes? And the next one?
Connie.
I'd almost like to stay here. Or I wish we'd never come. None of us.
Connie, there's something
What, Zeno? What is it?
It's just that it's getting cold. Maybe we better go back. I walked with Connie back to the rocket, and then I went home. There was a message on the autophone pad. The Grand Council wanted to see me at once. You sent for me, gentlemen?
13756 called Zeno. You are nearing the completion of Plan X.
I hope my work has been satisfactory.
You were selected for certain qualifications, Zeno. Set habit patterns, attention to detail, no strong emotional drives.
I remember, yes.
You have assumed a responsibility based on those qualifications.
I suppose you might put it that way.
Are you still prepared to discharge that responsibility?
Well, I think you might as well know that it's been my criticism in the past, as well as that of a lot of other taxpayers, that the Grand Council interferes entirely too much in the private lives of, well, what I mean to say...
Are you prepared to discharge your responsibility?
But about Connie, I mean Miss Morrison, isn't there some way...
You know that there is not.
Well, I suppose not, no.
Plan X will then be completed?
I assure the Grand Council, at 8:45 tomorrow morning, Plan X will be completed. I didn't sleep well that night, and Mother was worried when I hadn't any appetite in the morning. She thought it was the start of one of my chest colds. Purposely, I didn't go out to the rocket until almost 8:40. They were blasting the motors, getting ready to take off.
Zeno, I thought you weren't coming.
I overslept, Connie. That is, I didn't really oversleep, but...
The children have been here for an hour.
We're just about finished playing, Mr. Zeno.
Oh, good, Army. Did you win the game? Plan X?
I think so. We'll know in a minute, Mr. Zeno.
They're so intense. Are the children on Mars always that way, Zeno?
Well, not always, no.
Ah, come to see us off, did you, Zeno? Good boy. We counted on you.
Well, thank you.
Come over here, Fielding.
Yes, Commander.
Connie, Fielding, Zeno here has been so helpful to us that I've come to a decision.
That's very nice of you, but I'm pretty well stocked up on beads right now.
A different kind of a present. Zeno, I've decided to invite you to come with us to Earth.
To Earth?
How about it, Zeno? We're taking off in 16 minutes at 9 o'clock. How about it?
Well, it's not that I don't appreciate your thinking of me, but Mother would worry and...
You see, we need you, Zeno.
That's not true.
Well, I'm afraid it is. You see, I think Zeno is a much more important man than a worker in an elevator factory.
Escalator. I'm in stair train.
And if we have Zeno along the next time we come back to Mars, we'd be much less likely to run into, well, an ambush.
I'm afraid he's right, Connie.
He's not right.
How about it, Zeno?
Thanks, but no.
Commander, those kids, they've got some sort of a ray gun set up.
Fielding. Is it real, Fielding?
Why, it looks like it, Commander.
Get Zeno over in front of us, quick. Now they can't shoot without hitting him. Get your gun out, Parker.
You mean the kids, Commander?
If we have to, yes. Tell them not to fire on us, Zeno.
I'm sorry, Connie. Really sorry.
Oh, it's all right, Zeno. Do what you have to do.
Shall we shoot, Mr. Zeno?
Have your gun ready, Parker.
It wouldn't do any good, Commander. All right, Army. Plan X.
Did you fire, Parker?
Me, sir? Fire a gun? Why, I couldn't. I couldn't do a thing like that.
No, of course you couldn't. I don't know what made me ask.
The rocket, its motors have stopped. Its motors have stopped, Commander.
Well, we aren't going anywhere, are we?
Someone said something about going back to Earth.
Back to Earth?
Oh, no. Of course not. Of course not.
Everybody all right?
What happened, Commander? What happened?
Nothing, really. It's just that Ormy and his little friends built a maturity ray. It takes people who are, shall we say, less advanced and increases their IQ by several thousand years.
It's amazing.
Child's play.
Zeno, do you mean to say...
Commander, Dr. Fielding, Parker, Connie, permit me to congratulate you as fellow Martians.
Utterly amazing.
Connie.
Look, here come the Martians.
Our fellow Martians, thousands of them. They're coming to welcome us.
Connie.
Oh, look at them. Oh, they look so handsome, so intelligent, so...
Connie.
Yeah, excuse me, Zeno. I'll be back, Commander. I have to go to them. I'll be back.
Well, she did like me for a while. Before Plan X. But she did like me. Even just for a while. That's something, isn't it?
Suspense, presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Jack Benny. Next week, the dramatic report of a man's desperate race for freedom. A true story with names and places changed in order to protect the lives of the principals. The story is called The Man Who Cried Wolf. Our star, Mr. Jeff Chandler. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is transcribed and directed by Elliott Lewis, with music composed by Lucien Morawick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Plan X was written for Suspense by Richard Powell. Featured in tonight's cast were Mary Jane Croft, Norma Varden, John McIntyre, Truda Marson, Howard McNear, William Conrad, Jack Crucian, Joseph Kearns, and Stuffy Singer.
The Jack Benny Show may be heard every Sunday on the CBS Radio Network.
And remember next week, Mr. Jeff Chandler in The Man Who Cried Wolf.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. For the Palmolive plan was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, regardless of age, type of skin, or previous doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Day.
Oh, that makes life seem worthwhile dwells in your eyes and the smell of your smile.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, Bee Bend Orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing I'm Looking Over a Four-Leaf Clover.
I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I bore. One leaf is sunshine, the second is rain, third is the roses that grow in the lane. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. Over a four-leaf clover that I overlooked before. One leaf is sunshine, the second is rain, third in the lane, waiting, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I overlooked
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than your Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested.
And no wonder. For constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy.
And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, as you know, the whole town of Weaverville, there's no one quite like our young hero, Dennis Day. And most of the town is grateful for it. But Dennis can be happy or sad just like the rest of us, and today it's distinctly the latter. It seems that the local radio station is moving to another city, and with it will go all of our hero's favorite programs. Not even his girlfriend Mildred seems able to chase his gloom at this dire news.
You don't understand what this means, Mildred. How can I face the morning without Ma and Pa Peterson, without the story of Myra Wilson or David Driscoll, Boy Powers model?
Well, they're only morning cereals, Dennis.
But they're so real to me. You take Monica Popufnik's Passion at 9:30. Honestly, if that station goes off the air before I find out whether Monica's boyfriend gets his divorce, I don't know what I'll do.
Well, the station will be on the air for another week.
Yeah, but her boyfriend is a Turkish sultan. It may take years before he gets rid of the whole crowd.
Oh, I see.
Gosh, last week he told her he couldn't live without her. And you know something? He nearly didn't. He slashed all his veins, took poison, and jumped off a 10-story building.
Oh, my golly.
Yeah, he was laid up for 3 installments.
Dennis, you're taking this too seriously. Oh, hi, Daddy.
Good morning, children.
Good morning, Mr. Anderson.
Well, what's the matter? Trouble again, Dennis?
Yes, sir. There's an item in this morning's paper that says that WEAZ is going off the air.
WEAZ? No, don't say that.
Oh, do you like to sob your way to work every morning, too?
Well, it isn't that, Dennis. It's something far more important. In fact, it may be a matter of my life or death.
Your death? Oh, now, Mr. Anderson, it couldn't be.
Well, wait till you hear. You see, my wife...
Oh, she's involved. I guess I was wrong.
I'm afraid so. A few years ago, I bought $100 worth of stock in WEAZ without telling Poopsie about it.
You acted without orders from the bridge?
Yes, the salesman told me it was a great opportunity for a fearless man. And I, for a moment, forgot who he was talking to.
Golly. And now when this radio station goes broke, she'll find out you lost the whole 100.
Exactly. Well, farewell, children.
Well, Daddy, you're not going away.
Not far. Only about 6 feet straight down.
Now, wait a minute. There might be a way to keep WEAZ on the air at that.
Huh?
Suppose we got up a petition and had everyone in town sign it, pledging their support to the station. Then the advertisers would be glad to keep their programs going and even buy more.
Say, Mildred, that's wonderful.
And I think it'll work, too. A petition. The very thing.
Then let's get busy. Dennis, you take the south side of town, and I'll take the north. And remember, get those signatures.
Boy, I'll say I will. Do you think I want to miss hearing just plain old Sam being committed to an institution or Mary McCord's children die off slowly one by one? I'm entitled to some happiness out of life.
Yes?
How do you do, madam? I have a petition here. I'd like you to...
What, again? Petitions and polls. Polls and petitions. That's all I get these days. They're coming out of my ears.
But all I want...
I'm in the bathtub. All of a sudden, the telephone rings. What program am I listening to? I'm watching my back, and they want to know who sponsors it.
But, Madam,
I get back in the tub, and there it is again. Do I want a Republican in, or do I want a Democrat in? I don't want anybody in. I'm taking a bath.
Yes, but you see,
Every time I get into the tub, the same darn thing. Questions, 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 until I can't see straight. What's a woman going to do?
Cross them up, change the day you bathe.
In the tub. What do I think of business? How would I combat inflation? Who knows from combating inflation?
But I just...
And now you come along to ask me some more questions. What is it this time? Why does my husband drink, I suppose?
Oh, no, ma'am. I can see why he...
Oh.
Wait a minute. I didn't mean it like that.
That'll be enough out of you wise guys. You can take your pole and go climb it.
Yes?
Well, hello there, my little man.
My dear chap, I'm not a man, and I'm most certainly not yours. Let's not be patronizing, shall we?
Oh. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Well, come, fellow. Speak up. What is it?
Well, do you ever listen to the radio?
Oh, I might tune in one of those comedy programs occasionally, like Town Meeting of the Air or Chicago Roundtable.
How about the Quiz Kids?
Good heavens, no. I can't stand those 3-second pauses while they're thinking.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Well, anyway, there's a move on foot to deprive Weaverville of radio.
Good. I consider most of it unutterable garbage. And now, if you'll excuse me, good day. I'm in the midst of a little experiment in nuclear fission.
Yes, sir. I hope they're biting.
Again, George Simpson.
It's my house. I'll come home any time I please.
Just try it, that's all.
Yeah, and what do you do?
You'll see what I'll do. Oh, if I had known what you were like when I married you.
Ah, shut up! What do you want?
Would you be interested in signing a petition?
My mother at the door.
Why would your mother be at the door? She can fly right through the window on her broom.
Say one more crack about my mother, George Simpson, and you'll regret it the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah?
You heard me.
The radio station might close down.
I suppose your mother is a rogue. Every time she sticks her big nose in this house, there's trouble.
At least you don't lie around in bed till noon every day like yours.
Oh, is that so?
You're darn right it's so.
Permanently.
My mother cooks a meal for us once in a while, doesn't she?
That's another thing I got against her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd have nothing to listen to.
As far as I'm concerned, you can tell that old battle axe to stay home.
Oh, an old battle axe, is she? Well, I'll show you. Oh, Madam Weaze, not that. Don't throw that.
Ha! Missed me again. Now, what was it you wanted, Bud?
Nothing anymore. That was your radio she just threw at you.
Oh, Dennis, this is wonderful. Over 400 names on your petition. Must have taken you hours.
No, I got them all in a few minutes.
The whole 400?
Sure, it was a cinch once I got to the cemetery.
The cemetery? You mean you copied them off the tombstone?
Why not? I figure if our mayor lets them vote every year, they can sign a petition.
Oh, but didn't you get any living people to sign it?
No, that's the one type of person I was unsuccessful with.
Oh, my golly, and I only got 2 names myself. Well, what are we going to do?
Well, your father just told me it's too late to do anything now anyway. All the actors have quit the station. They couldn't go on the air if they wanted to.
All right. Then we'll be actors.
Huh?
We'll work for nothing just so the station can stay on and maybe attract some business.
Us? You and me?
Sure. You're talented. Why, you can talk in dozens of languages. I've heard you.
Yeah, but there's one slight drawback.
What?
I never know what I'm saying.
What of it?
Yeah, who can tell? In radio, that might even help.
Now, listen. I'm going to write a script for it. A playlist. I'll write it so it'll show off those wonderful foreign accents of yours. Mr. Thompson will be so impressed with you, he'll keep his station on the air.
Well, gee, Mildred.
Oh, please, Dennis. Think how badly Daddy will feel if he has to confess to Mother that he lost that $100.
I doubt if he'd feel anything after the first few blows, but... Okay, we'll try it.
Good boy.
Gosh, Mildred, shouldn't we have rehearsed? I haven't even seen the script yet.
Well, there wasn't time, Dennis. Besides, they often do it this way in radio.
Oh, yeah? It does sound like it sometimes, but I don't know.
Come on, we haven't much time. Mr. Thompson?
Yes?
I'm Mildred Anderson. I just phoned you for an appointment. And this is Dennis Day here.
Where? Oh, behind your skirts. Well, what is this all about, Miss Anderson?
Mr. Thompson, we think we can help you. I've written a script and we're going to play it together. I do just one little bit of a character, but Dennis has a dozen foreign language roles.
Yes, but Miss Anderson...
All we want you to do is listen. Now, the first one's French. A scene in Paris. A young man and a girl terribly in love. The girl speaks. Oh, my darling, how wonderful it is to have you back again. To feel the dear nearness of you. To touch your hands, your lips, your eyes. Do you feel the same about me, Pierre? Tell me, my dear one, do you?
Oui.
Now, the next one's in Russia. Commissar Dubrovnik has just been asked to take over the Red Army in Siberia. It will be cold, bitter cold, and the duty will be arduous. Still, it's the Premier himself who has asked him to do it. There's a hush as Commissar Dubrovnik makes his...
Oh, now, really, he should say more than that.
In Russia?
That's right. Now we're in Spain, the court of Queen Isabella. A humble sailor stands before Her Majesty as she asks him to find a new route to the gold of the Indies. Can he do it? She holds her breath as he says...
Si, senor, I think.
Now, see here, this is preposterous.
Oh, wait a minute. I've still got a mashu and a hockey sport and a hakmanishkanchanik.
I don't care to hear them.
Oh, but Mr. Thompson...
Miss Anderson, I'm not interested in actors and plays. All my dramatic shows were sustaining anyway. The only thing that kept me in business here was my disc jockey program.
Your disc jockey program?
Yes. Chuck Stewart and his make-believe bedlam. He had all our sponsors, and he's left us.
Oh, then find another disc jockey.
Where?
How do?
Him? Impossible. Besides, the record library belonged to Chuck Stewart, and he took it with him.
Oh, we have a whole cabinet full of records home. And if you have requests for some singer we haven't got, Dennis can imitate him.
Imitate him?
Sure. We'll just use a record without a vocal for background.
You mean he could actually... Oh, but that's ridiculous. Preposterous. Still, No, that's crazy. Why? What harm can it do now? By George, that's true. All right, young man, report to me the first thing in the morning.
Yes, sir. Gee, you sure are putty in your hands, aren't you?
Oh, why did I talk myself into doing this thing anyway? It's just fantastic.
Now, don't worry about a thing, Mr. Thompson. We'll put it across for you, won't we, Mr. Anderson?
Oh, you just bet we will. I've written all the commercials myself, and I know Dennis can handle the music.
Well, I hope so. You're sure you're familiar with the disc jockey type of program?
Naturally. You don't think I do my housework in silence, do you?
Well, if we fail, I'll be the laughing... Oh, my gosh. There goes the light. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Well, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dennis the Discer bringing you the latest and best in modern recordings as per your request on our make-believe bedlam. We'll be back in a moment with the first batch of requests. But first, here's a few words from Herbie Anderson about the Jiffy Razor, who sponsors the first minute and a quarter of our program.
Friends, is your beard tough, wiry, and bristly? Especially you men. A tender skin is almost always the cause of your shaving difficulty. The Jiffy Razor will remove it instantly. Remember that the next time you buy a razor.
Thank you, Herbert's request. Here is Blaine in Middletown, the Weaverville Hockey Side High, and the Girdle Girls of Moose Rapid and Red Eagle doing Temptation. Haven't got any of them, but here we go anyway.
Here we go. Oh, tell me, will you, darling, why you look so bad tonight? There's bags around your eyeballs, which is red instead of white.
That's the way you came. Just I should have known that you were temptation. You smile, leering me on. Mine calls you temptation. It'll be thrilling if you're willing. But if it never can be, then pity for me, cause you was too poor to be kissed. I couldn't resist, cause you was temptation. And I was yours. Here's my heart. You take it away. You take it away and say that we will never, never, never part. I'm just a slave, just a dead burn slave. I'm going with you. I'm a real hot slave. Hot in there. That was swell, Joe. And now, a brief message.
The thrill of a lifetime is coming your way. Humphrey Go-Kart in Blood is Gore at the Bijou Theater.
When an ex-convict shoots 8 men in cold blood, will the girl he loves lose respect for him?
See Blood is Gore and find out. Filled with pulse-quickening action. Stirring love. Heartwarming laughter. At the Bijou soon.
And now, friends, here's a request from Mrs. George Bachman of Middletown. Mrs. Bachman writes, tonight is my 10th wedding anniversary, and I know my husband is just crazy about Nelson Eddy's version of Please Play Jean Sablon singing Je t'envie. We'll be happy to, Mrs.
J'attendrai le jour et la nuit. J'attendrai toujours ton retour. J'attendrai qu'à l'oiseau qui s'enfuit vient chercher l'oubli dans son nid. Le temps passe et que en battant dans ma cœur des en
Girls, now you can be shorter than he is. Do you feel tall, gangly, uncomfortable because your boyfriend is shorter than you are? Then buy a pair of Lester shoes today. Lester shoes have the specially built-in electric drill heel. Makes you sink 3 to 4 inches into the pavement with every step. Now you can...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have time for just about one more number. And we have a whole host of requests here for a song called I Don't Care. Eva Tangway made this song famous, but the record is an imitation by Beatrice Case. And since we don't have the... Well, anyway, what you're going to get is here's I Don't Care.
I don't care. I don't care what they may think of me. I'm happy-go-lucky. Men say I'm plucky, so jolly and carefree. I don't care. I don't care if I do get the meanest stony stare. If I'm never successful, it won't be distressful, 'cause I don't care.
try to treat me fair. My voice may sound funny, but it's getting me the money. 'Cause I don't care. I don't care. No, sir. I don't care. I don't care. And that, ladies and gentlemen, winds up Make-Believe Bedlam until the same time tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Hey, that was sensational. The switchboard's been going ever since you went on the air. All my sponsors want to come back. You've saved my station.
Wow. Boy, do you hear that, Mr. Anderson?
Oh, shucks. I could have told you it would happen. Talent is talent, and I just happen to have it, that's all.
I can never repay you, fellows. It came off perfectly.
Yeah, and we didn't have any of the records that were requested either. Boy, I sure was lucky with those requests.
Lucky? What do you mean?
I have a feeling that if someone had asked for the Andrews Sisters, I'd have been in trouble.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing Passing Fancy. But first... Grand news, wonderful news. Now Luster Cream Shampoo comes in tubes as well as jars. Yes, Luster Cream. The utterly new cream shampoo that gives you soft, glamorous dream girl hair. Try Luster Cream Shampoo. 4-ounce jar, $1. Smaller sizes, tubes or jars, whichever you prefer, 49 and 25 cents. But whether you prefer the tube or the jar, you will prefer Luster Cream Shampoo. Be a dream girl. A lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. Hair that gleams and glistens from a Luster Cream shampoo. Dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo.
The incomparable voice of Dennis Day, the music of Charles Dant and the orchestra, and the beautiful ballad, Passing Fancy, sung as only Dennis Day can sing it. Dennis Day Show, brought to you by Cold to Clean Your Teeth and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair.
This is Vern Smith speaking. Good night, everyone.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
If you like good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. Now, the Halls of Ivy.
In all the halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far, far away.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. Dr. Hall, William Todhunter Hall, the president of Ivy, has problems shared by Mrs. Hall, the former Victoria Cromwell of the London stage. Problems not entirely curricular. Their immediate worry concerns the sudden and so far undiagnosed illness of a last night's dinner guest, Mr. Clarence Wellman, who's now recovering, everybody hopes, from an outrageously swollen nose in the extra bedroom.
Toddy, may I tell you something?
Of course, my dear. What is it?
You are the only man I know who can pace back and forth while sitting motionless in a chair.
Well, I'm worried, Victoria. Seeing the nose of the chairman of the Board of Governors turn a violent crimson immediately after he has dined as a guest in one's house is a privilege granted few college presidents. I say privilege in the sense that seeing the Grand Canyon at sunset is a privilege. Do you think Penny did something to his gluten bread?
There's nothing you can do to gluten bread. You either eat it or throw it away.
But Mr. Wellman's illness distresses me. He and I have clashed over policy ever since his election to the board, and he's almost certain now, consciously or unconsciously, to lay both his nose and his stomach squarely at my door.
Well, really?
Well, you know what I mean. Do you suppose he'll recover in time to participate in the Charter Day ceremony?
I doubt it. He'd never have stayed here all night unless he really felt awful, and his nose looked it. Couldn't you postpone it for a while?
Postpone the Charter Day ceremony?
Yes. Why must it begin precisely at 10 o'clock?
Well, for the same reason that the guards at Buckingham Palace wear those towering bearskins instead of our freshman beanies. It's traditional. It's been traditional for the Charter Day ceremony to begin at 10 ever since that morning back in 1640, when the governor of the colony granted a small group of pirates, smugglers, and slave dealers the right to found the college for the propagation of all virtues. Virtues which, by the way, if practiced by the founders, would have kept them much too poor to do anything of the sort. Now, I...
Lost the thread?
I seem to have lost the entire spool. Yes. I was discussing tradition. Now, I hold no brief for tradition as such, but there are some traditions which are valuable and should, I feel, be maintained. Especially in these days, when the notion prevails that the highest aim of all human endeavor is to guess correctly, for a fabulous prize, the name of some popular song. I also...
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, what is it, Penny?
A young man at the door. Says he's a photographer from some picture magazine.
Oh, yes. Have him come in.
Yes, sir.
A photographer?
Yes. The publishers phoned yesterday and asked if they could send someone to take pictures for an early issue. In addition to shots of the ceremony, they want a few of me. You know, the sort of thing, the president of Ivy having breakfast, donning his cap and gown, and, silly, of course, but a bother, but perhaps of value to the school.
Shall I leave?
Oh, no, not at all. I don't think you'll disturb him. He'll merely photograph me at this end of the room. Where are my cap and gown?
On the chair behind you.
Do I look all right?
Like the very model of a college president.
Dr. Hall?
Yes, good morning.
I'm Luther Bland of Exposure Magazine.
Of course. How do you do? Victoria, may I introduce Mr. Bland? Mr. Bland?
Vicky Cromwell, isn't it?
Why, yes. Well, that is, I was before you.
I was in love with you once for a whole week.
Oh, how nice.
When you entertained the troops at Anzio. Oh, you don't remember me, of course, but I can still hear you singing, "Cool Ain't I the One, though."
Mr. Bland, I was thinking that if you did come here to take pictures...
Oh, yes, sir.
Perhaps one of me is standing here, near the window.
Would you mind raising the blind, sir, for a bit more light?
Yes, sir. Now, how's that?
Swell. Now, Mrs. Hall, if I could trouble you for a smile.
Like this?
Yes. Dr. Hall, you're throwing a shadow on her. Perhaps if you stood behind me.
Oh, yes, of course.
Good. Now, hold it, Mrs. Hall.
Now, this might make a good one. One of me sitting at the table.
Mrs. Hall, I'd like one of you... Well, one of you with your eyes sort of crinkling above the rim of the coffee cup.
How's this?
Dr. Hall.
Yes?
If you held back the curtain, there would be a better highlight in her hair. Good. But stand back a bit further or you'll be in the frame.
Yes, we mustn't have that, must we?
A bit more crinkle, Mrs. Hall. Good.
That's a very nice camera you have.
I even remember the dress you wore at Anzio.
Well, it was intended that everyone should.
I used to own a camera.
We remembered you all right, Mrs. Hall. The dress and everything in it.
I'm very flattered, Mr. Bland.
It was a Brownie box camera. First prize for Sunday school attendance.
Sort of hold up the coffee pot, Mrs. Hall, as though you were about to pour. That's it.
Had a little carrying strap, I remember.
Now, Dr. Hall.
Yes?
How about one of you?
Well, if you have any film left,
Well, one of you with Mrs. Hall. Now, let's see now. Suppose she sort of fixes your tie.
Oh, like this?
Exactly. I think I'll shoot it over Dr. Hall's shoulder. No, don't turn your head around to me, sir. Look at her.
Yeah, well, if I may suggest a caption, the former Miss Victoria Crumble, star of English stage and friend.
Well, I think that will give me all we need on this angle.
Really? All you need?
Mm-hmm. Now, sir, can you tell me something about the ceremony itself so I'll have an idea on how to plan my shots?
Well, at 9:55, there will be a knock at my front door.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a messenger from the chief proctor. Customarily, the messenger is the youngest member of the student body.
Who is it this year?
A prodigy named Merton Savada, who is, I believe, not quite 14.
A freshman at 13?
No, not a freshman. He is at present working for his master's degree. He took his A.B. at Columbia last year. Then, at 10 o'clock, the procession will come to a halt in front of this house. And the chief proctor will knock upon the door 3 times with his staff of office. Your readers may be interested in a picture of that staff, because picture magazines do have readers, don't they?
I think some of our subscribers can read.
Yes. Well, the proctor's staff was fashioned from the limb of a walnut tree.
Mm-hmm.
Sent as a gift by the University of Paris, and brought to this country by Benjamin Franklin. At the knock, I open the door, and, accompanied by the chairman of the board, stand on the front steps. At our appearance, a tenor soloist sings Gaudium Exigiter a cappella.
It's very, very impressive, Mr. Bland. I get a lump in my throat every time I see it.
Well, then the chairman of the board takes his place at the head of the procession and leads it to the chapel. I follow. Once there, several hymns, a few speeches, the reading of the charter, and it's all over.
Well, it sounds most interesting, Doctor. Thanks very much for your help, sir. I'll be going over to the North Gate now.
Yes, I hope I didn't spoil any of your pictures by getting my shadow into them.
I don't think so. I was pretty careful. Goodbye, Mrs. Hall. Wonderful to have seen you again.
Well, thank you very much.
Right. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, what a nice young man. How well you described the charter day, Toddy. There's so many things that puzzle me about these school ceremonies. You always manage to make them so clear.
Well, thank you, but what sort of things, Vicky?
Well, for instance, why is it that ceremony where you award the diploma is called commencement, when it always comes at the end of the school year?
That's a very good question.
I thought so.
Well, commencement, as everyone knows. You know, Vicky, I have a theory about Mr. Wellman's nose. I suspect that it's the result of simple, ordinary stage fright.
Stage fright?
Yes. I think that he is so terrified at making his speech at the Charter Day ceremonies that his subconscious mind has come rushing to his aid with a geranium effect on his nose. He wants to be excused from speaking and doesn't even realize it.
Well, I certainly know a lot of ways to treat stage fright.
For example?
Well, it's all a matter of psychology. Every actress is a practicing psychologist, you know, whether she knows it or not.
Yes, but in Mr. Wellman's case...
In Mr. Wellman's case, we must first make up our minds that we will simply ignore his nose.
It's quite a hurdle, Victoria. A bit like asking a traveling architect to ignore the Taj Mahal.
Nevertheless, dear, we must not concentrate on the very thing we're trying to relieve. In his case, his nose.
What do we concentrate on? If I may end a sentence with a preposition, and in my own home, I think I may.
We must not refer to his nose. We must build up his confidence in himself with praise. We must say nice things to him. What can we say nice about Mr. Wellman?
Can you give me a few minutes on that?
Certainly, dear.
Now, let me see. I have never seen him actually kick a dog.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Before we return to the halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman, let's visit a psychology professor on another campus. He wants to tell you how scientific curiosity led him to make a pleasant discovery.
Well, I'm a professor, all right, but not the absent-minded variety. This is somewhat of a disappointment to my wife and 2 daughters who would like nothing better than a good excuse for directing my activities. As it is, they do pretty well without one. After last semester, for example, they packed me off to a dude ranch for a vacation. My instructions were to forget psychology and experiments. I tried. But the very first day, circumstances forced me to conduct what I like to call my favorite unsuccessful experiment. I was watching a group of guests come in from a horseback ride. It was hot that day, and they were tired and dusty, but our host seemed to know just what to do. He hustled out cool bottles of beer. Schlitz, I noticed from the labels. This beer was greeted with smiles of welcome that changed to looks of pleasure as the guests drank. I began wondering, as a psychologist, mind you, what there was about Schlitz to cause such a marked reaction of pleasure. So I tasted Schlitz, and my experiment collapsed. How could I maintain my scientific attitude when I wanted so hard to concentrate on the famous Schlitz flavor? I waited till next day to try another glass, and again had the same wonderful reaction. Now that I'm home, I keep my own supply of Schlitz. Of course, I'm no longer experimenting. I drink Schlitz for the pleasure it gives me. And when I serve it to my friends and I see the looks of satisfaction on their faces, I can't help thinking to myself, no wonder they call Schlitz the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
That surround us here today.
Now, now that Dr. Hall has had a few minutes to think of some redeeming feature of Mr. Wellman's character and to remember not to concentrate on his nose, maybe he... No, too late. Here's the subject himself.
Good morning, Mr. Wellman.
Good morning, Mr. Wellman.
Good morning to you both.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. Is there something amiss with my necktie? You both keep staring at me.
No. It's a very handsome necktie. I was admiring it.
Thank you. My daughter gave it to me. I have always believed she has excellent taste.
Oh, her good taste is quite obvious, Mr. Wellman. As plain, in fact, as the
As
the shoes on your feet.
That's rather an odd simile.
I do hope you're feeling better this morning.
I'm still a bit queasy.
Oh, that's too bad. I wonder if you'd care to try a rather old remedy many people I know have used with much success.
I would be grateful for almost anything.
Well, what did you have in mind, Victoria?
Have we any shingle nails, William?
Shingle nails?
Shingle nails? Isn't that a rather ridiculous...
Well, never mind. Let it go. I knew you'd think it was ridiculous, Mr. Wellman.
No, Mrs. Hall, I'm sorry. Tell me, I don't care if this idea was suggested by a Hindu voodoo man. You were saying something about shingle nails. How do I eat them?
No, you don't eat them, Mr. Wellman. You place the point of the nail against your left thumb, put the head of the nail against your right thumb, and think about something else for 5 minutes. Will you go get a shingle nail, William?
Well, don't just stand there, Dr. Hall. Get her a shingle nail.
A shingle nail? Yes. I'll see if I can find one.
Thank you, dear.
See if I can find one.
Thank you, dear. Now, please sit down, Mr. Wellman.
Thank you. No, I'm too restless, Mrs. Hall. This shingle nail thing. I've often wondered just how much scientific basis there was for some of our odd superstitions. Perhaps this shingle nail business has some magnetic property that, now steel now, and electric, negative, and positive, and all that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I'm sorry, Vicky, but I couldn't find a shingle nail. But here's a horseshoe nail. Would that do?
Wonderful, William. Simply wonderful. It really takes a horseshoe nail. I had no idea there was one in the house. But I think a shingle nail is a good thing to have in reserve, just in case. Take another look, will you, please?
Yes, I'll be very glad to.
That's a dear.
I think I know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Well, let me take the nail, Mrs. Hall. Now, how do I hold it? Like this?
No. The point against the left thumb.
The point
That's
against
it. Now, the head against the right thumb.
Yes.
Now, just hold it. We just talk. Get your mind off it.
What shall we talk about?
Oh, the weather, television, stock market, your speech. That's it. Your speech. What did you plan to say at the Charter Day ceremony, Mr. Wellman?
Well, I open by saying, ladies and gentlemen.
That's very good, very good.
It is?
Of course it is. Because after all, the people you're talking to are ladies and gentlemen. Now, keep the point of the nail against your left thumb.
Oh, yes. It struck me as being a rather good way to start.
Oh, yes, it is. Now, keep the head against the right thumb. See, that's it. Now, then what do you say?
And then I say, we are gathered here today.
Ah, that's nice.
You like that, Mrs. Hall?
Yes, I do, Mr. Wellman. After all, it is today. And they will be gathered there. It has something of the truth and simplicity of the Gettysburg Address. And then how does your speech go, Mr. Wellman?
And then I say, we are gathered here today to honor the men and women who, by their noble deeds and humility...
The door.
Yes, dear, I heard it.
But that's your cue.
Yes.
I mean, you're on.
Vicky, I may be on, but I'd prefer to have the reminder couched in slightly more formal terms. This is an occasion of some importance.
May I go with you?
Of course.
Well, I just stand here off stage and watch.
That's funny, I thought.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, there you are, down there.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Master Scholar.
It is my pleasure, sir, as well as my duty to inform you that I bear a message from the Chief Proctor.
What is the message, Master Scholar?
Sir, the faculty and the students escorting the charter bearing the seal of the colony are approaching.
Thank you, Master Scholar, and good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Now, shouldn't you be getting ready?
Well, the procession will take a little time to get here, but I should get started.
Let me help you on with your robe, Toddy. Now, there, that's it. Oh, you do look pretty.
Thank you, my dear. Where is Mr. Wellman? Has your medicine cured him?
I think so. He told me so himself. Oh, he wouldn't miss the boat. Not that I'm against boat missing. In fact, darling, I like people who miss boats.
Well, if that's a personal reference, my dear, missing a boat was the most intelligent thing I ever did. Young Professor Hall on board ship, with only a few minutes remaining of his 5 months sabbatical in England. His last few dollars invested in a passage from Southampton back home to New York. And his emotions invested in a beautiful actress whom he would probably never see again.
William, dear, that's the last car's going ashore warning.
Yes, I know.
And I haven't got a ticket. So if you don't mind letting go of me, I'd better be...
No, that can't possibly be the last warning. They must give several. Good heavens, they don't expect people to dash aboard, hand somebody a basket of fruit and dash off again. Oh, Vicky, I
wish they'd play something a little less sentimental, don't you?
Yes.
It's difficult enough to wish a friend goodbye on New Year's Eve. Without underscoring it like that.
Oh, I hate saying goodbye to you anywhere at any time, Victoria. Oh, mere words at times like these.
I haven't many words either, William. About 3, in fact. Little ones.
3 little words for me? Vicky, you don't mean...
Yes. I'll miss you.
Oh. Oh, yes. That is 3 words, isn't it? You know, it's going to be hard to concentrate on my work when I get back to the United States.
I like that.
I'll forever be thinking such thoughts as... This is Monday. It was on a Monday that Victoria and I drove to Stratford to see Shakespeare's home.
Stop for buns at Banbury Cross on the way.
Then on Tuesday... It was a Tuesday that Victoria and I visited Madame Tussaud's waxworks.
Yeah, and you tried to tip the wax doorman.
Yes. And on a Thursday... Oh, Vicky, I wish we had it all to do over again.
Perhaps we can. Sometime soon.
I'm afraid not soon, dear. Professors don't get sabbaticals every year.
I know. But the play I'm in might be produced in New York.
When? Has it been... Did you... Has anything been said about it?
No, but something's going to be.
Oh, good. Vicky.
Yes?
Will you remember the address I gave you and write to me?
Yes. Of course I will, dear. I promise. And if you let go my hands, I'll cross my heart.
I don't want to let you go, Vicky. Ever.
William, dear, I must leave.
Yes, I know. Vicky, I love you very much. Will you marry me?
Oh, you know I will. I thought you were going to leave without asking me.
I almost did. Oh, darling. What's that? Oh, it's the steward. Yes, steward, take my luggage ashore. I'm not sailing. Come on, Vicky.
William, dear, it's Mr. Wellman.
Oh, good. He's just in time. I say, Wellman, take these bags off the ship. I'm taking the next one. Hurry now. That's a good chap.
No, William. It's Mr. Wellman, our guest.
Well, why doesn't he take the luggage, eh? Well, our guest.
Were you talking about me, Dr. Hall? And what? Luggage?
What luggage? Did I say... Oh, it's you, Mr. Wellman. I'm sorry.
William, where have you been?
I'm afraid I was a little bit at sea, my dear. Or almost. I'm sorry, Mr. Wellman. It was, Oh, good heavens. What's happened to your nose? It looks like a nose again.
Doesn't it, though? Doesn't it? That's exactly what it looks like. That's a remarkable remedy you possess, Mrs. Hall. Horseshoe nail. Remarkable. Entirely remarkable. And may I say, Dr. Hall, that your robe is extremely becoming?
Thank you.
Yes, I hope mine has as fine a drape.
Well, I see no reason why it shouldn't.
You'll be in the ceremony, Mr. Wellman.
Oh, of course. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Going to read a speech. Darn good speech, too. Dictated myself. Reminded Mrs. Hall of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
Oh, I'm delighted. Here, let me help you on with your gown.
Oh, yes, thank you.
There it is. Our caps, if you please, Victoria. Thank you. Are you ready, sir?
I am. My arm, Mrs. Hall. All ready, Doctor?
What are you thinking, Toddy?
What I always think when I hear that sound. Socrates questioning the Athenian youth. Renaissance students obtaining licenses to beg their way through college. Dr. Einstein playing his violin, safe on the campus at Princeton instead of being a bit of charred bone at Buchenwald or Auschwitz. Sir Francis Bacon catching the cold from which he died by stuffing a fowl with snow to test the theory of refrigeration. And astronomers alone in observatories on cold and starry nights. And the inscription carved above the library entrance, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free." Now, Vicky, look. There goes Wellman. What the devil was that shingle nonsense you gave him?
Well, it isn't nonsense if it works, dear. And it did work. Look at him. See how he squared his shoulders. I just gave him back a little self-confidence, and his nose deflated like a great big red in a tube. It was fascinating.
I imagine it was. Why don't you ever give me a treatment like that?
You don't need it, Toddy.
Oh, I'm not so sure of that today. I'm afraid this speech of mine is a trifle weak.
Your speeches are never weak. How did it go?
Well, I begin by saying honored visitors, governors, gentlemen of the faculty, and students.
Splendid.
You think so?
Yes, perfect. How does it go from there?
Well, then I say, having but recently been reappointed as president of Ivy College...
Oh, William, that's wonderful. Because you were just recently appointed. Go on.
It is my considered opinion that in the ensuing semester, the plans which we have formed... You know, maybe this speech is better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, after that, I say...
Yes, dear?
You can even do it without a nail, can't you?
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
You know, my dear, your choice of that horseshoe nail I thought was very silly at first, but I'm beginning to regard it as being richly symbolic.
Symbolic? For what, for goodness sake?
Well, of Mr. Wellman's being continually underfoot. Did I ever recite my little verse on superstition? I rather fancied myself as a poet when quite young.
Go on, I'd love to hear it.
Well, to the best of my memory, it went, from ancient days the symbols came, the sign, the amulet, the charm, the seal, the ring, the coin, a name to conjure with and shield from harm. Faith in and dread of all these things is one of man's great racial quirks. But down through time the question rings, why scorn the gimmick if it works?
Oh, darling, I do think that's wonderful. But is it just superstition when it works? Do you mean that?
Vicky, that's why poets live in inaccessible garrets, so no one can ask them what they mean. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. The other players were Herbert Butterfield, Gloria Gordon, Peter Leeds, and Henry Blair. Tonight's script was written by Walter Brown Newman and Don Quinn. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolf, and presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ken Carpenter speaking.
Oh, we love the halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far, far away.
Next, hear We the People over most of these same NBC stations.
It isn't the mayor of Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga, kid.
The makers of Bluebonnet Margarine and Tenderleaf Tea present The Fred Allen Show. With Fred's guest, George Jessel, Portland Hoffa, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, Alan Reed as Falstaff Openshaw, the Tenderleaf Workshop Players, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And if you wonder who Senator Claghorn is, my name is Kenny Delmar. In the January issue of Cosmopolitan magazine, ladies and gentlemen, the so-called star of this program was selected as the Cosmopolite of the Month. He's been called about everything else, but this month he's a cosmopolite. And here he is, Fred Allen.
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And Kenny, that story about me in Cosmopolitan, written by H. Allen Smith, turned out quite well, I thought.
Yeah, you know, Fred, all of the magazines seem to be saluting people each month.
They're always saluting. I've noticed that.
Yeah, the Time magazine made President Truman the Man of the Year in January.
You know, I hear Time is making Mayor LaGuardia the Man of the Month for February. It's a short month, I think. The other magazines are still going full blast. The Hobo News is making Jack Benny the Tramp of the Month. Pick is picking the Punk of the Month. And the Poultry Journal may be a...
Alan!
Well, Portland. Do you want to cut in, Portland? Kenny and I are talking about magazines saluting different people. Has anyone in your family ever been honored by a magazine?
Well, last year, the Police Gazette chose Mama as Miss Patrol Wagon for 1945.
Miss Patrol Wagon, huh? Is that... I'll laugh at it. At least you got me. Is that a camp stool you have with you there?
It's for Mama. She's standing in line.
Standing in line for what?
Mama doesn't know whether she's going to see the picture at the Roxy, get a ticket for Florida, or end up with a pair of nylons.
She doesn't know?
Mama just saw a long line and got in it.
Oh, well, that's the trouble with the country today, Portland. Half of the people are standing in line to buy things. The other half is standing in line picketing. But aren't you... Just a mild demonstration, if any. We work it up as we go along. And Mr. Jessel arrives. Big thing. But tell me, aren't you, Portland? Aren't you cold with those liquid stockings on?
No, I always mix in a little antifreeze.
Oh, with the... There's only one trouble with liquid stockings in the winter. If it gets hot all of a sudden, you've got a shoe full of stocking. You never can tell.
Last week, Mama drank some liquid stockings by mistake.
Drank some? Didn't it bother her?
For 2 days, she hiccuped Bobby socks.
Oh, I know a man who drank a whole bottle of liquid stockings accidentally.
Was he sick?
No, but he had to swallow a garter to hold his stomach up. That was the last time he saw Paris And speaking of garters, when you've got to go to Allen's Alley, you've got to go. Remind me to give the writers more money. These women, they've got to go.
Have you a question ready?
A question? You bet. You know, this past week, strikes closed most of the meatpacking plants throughout the country, shutting off the country's supply of meat. And so our question tonight is, if you have been unable to get your quota, how have you been coping with the meat shortage?
Shall we go?
As the electric fan said when somebody turned it on, I think I'll blow. Well, here we are back in Allen's Alley, Portland. I guess the senator's home all right. His bullwhip is coiled up on the front step there.
Somebody now.
Now look, Senator.
Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn.
I know your name. You're from the South.
I'm a ding-dong daddy from Dallas.
You're a...
Yeah, on the radio, I'll never listen to thanks to the Yanks.
Now, wait a minute.
Now, speak up, son. What's on your mind?
Well, if I only...
Go ahead and talk,
Well, all I'm trying to do is...
Well, the war's over, son, today. Loose lips ain't sinking ships.
I'm just trying to get a word in.
Open your mouth, son. I've heard more conversation coming out of a knothole. Knothole out here.
You're winded, hey?
Only momentarily, son.
Good. Now, I'll get in here. What about this meat strike?
I brought it up in the house. Pay attention now, son. I heard 12 loose talk. Loose talk, that's a joke, son.
I know it's a joke.
Carolina cackle.
I don't care.
That was a Birmingham belly buster.
Now, wait a minute.
You should be yucking, you ain't even smirking.
I don't even get a chance to smirk.
Hold up, son, you don't get it. You're from back country.
Now, look. Look, Senator, what about this meat problem?
Well, the nation's capital will have plenty of meat for everybody.
Well, where is Washington going to get this meat?
Son, there's 130 million Americans.
Yes?
And today, every American is sending his beef to Washington.
Well, the senator has a head like a pot roast. It brings back happy memories. Well, I hope Titus Moody is still up tonight. Now, let's see.
Howdy, Bob.
Your exhaust is working well, Mr. Moody. You feel all right? You look a little shaky.
Boy, was I stiff last night.
Drinking?
No. Somebody put starch in my bathwater.
You have a bathtub in the house?
No. Every Saturday night, I take a can of Dutch cleanser and lower myself down into the well.
In this cold weather?
No. During the winter, I don't slop around in the well.
Well, how do you keep clean?
Once a week, I go over myself with a racer and a whisk broom.
Well, how about the meat shortage?
Oh, that don't bother me none. I'm a vegetarian.
Well, haven't you ever tasted meat?
Only once. That cured me.
What happened?
About 20 years ago, a city fella come around selling rabbits.
And you bought one?
Yeah. He give me the rinky-dink.
The old R.D., hey?
Yeah.
Well, how do you mean?
He was dishonest.
Dishonest, huh?
Yeah, looked like a rabbit, cooked like a rabbit, tasted like a rabbit.
What makes you think it wasn't?
Well, for 2 weeks after I ate the rabbit...
Yes?
Every time I smelled catnip, I turned a somersault.
Mr. Moody still has that hang cat look, I must say. Oh, well, what will a knock at this door bring?
No.
Oh, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You were expecting maybe Weinstein Churchill?
Tell me, Mrs. N, has the meat strike bothered you?
I am in a dilemma.
Dilemma?
There is such a word.
Oh, yes. Yes, dilemma is a word. You might have read it someplace.
I'm only reading broken English.
Oh.
As I am speaking, so I am reading.
Oh, fine.
Why be deceitful? Who am I fooling?
Well, I see your point, yes. I agree with you thoroughly. But what about the meat shortage?
Confidentially, we are having well in hand the situation.
You had some old meat stored up, did you?
Oh, no. My husband, Pierre, is buying a goat. A second-hand Billy.
A second-hand? A used goat. A live goat?
The first night we are locking him in the clothes closet.
I see.
During the night, the goat is eating the backs off of 3 of Pierre's union suits.
Oh, gosh.
The next day, the goat Pierre is killing and we are having for dinner.
Well, after eating the backs off 3 union suits, how did the goat taste?
Like flapjacks, but delicious.
Oh, And that brings us to the little vine-covered shanty at the end of the alley. A knock here should certainly start something.
Shout huzzah, scream adjectives flowery, Falstaff is here, the bard of the Bowery.
Well, something tells me that you have new poems for us tonight.
Oh, indubitably. Have you heard when they pinched Uncle Charlie, his excuse was the honey? He claimed he was in the bank just feeling the money.
No, I haven't heard that.
Or, the jukebox was playing I'm Confessing as she lured me into the delicatessen.
No. No.
How about this? Mother, please don't point father at me. He may be loaded again.
Now, wait a minute. Please. Tonight we are simply discussing the meat strike.
Precisely why I am here. I would box some doggerel.
Well, what is your meat poem called?
Joy reigns supreme in the stockyard.
Uh-huh. How does it go?
Joy
reigned supreme in the stockyards when the meat strike was called through the nation. The cattle doomed to die in their pens gave the news tremendous ovation. A little ram frisked with his ewe. A Holstein kissed one of the steers. A big shaggy heifer danced round like a zephyr. A brindle cow mooed out 3 cheers. Yes, joy reigned supreme in the stockyards. Chicago's ne'er seen such a sight. A jubilant ox jumped up on a box and yelled, "Ah, there's good news tonight."
And as Bard Openshaw skulks to the wings, we turn to our melodic misses, the 5 DeMarco sisters. Tonight, accompanied by Al Goodman and his poor man's Philharmonic, the DeMarco sing Hubba Hubba from the new picture, Doll Fate.
Hubba, 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 hello, Jack. Hubba, 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 just got back. Well, the hubba, 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 shoot some breeze, say whatever happens to Japanese. Hubba, hubba,
I'll say it, you heard?
hubba, 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 we got the word. We got it from a guy who's in the know. It was mighty smoky over Tokyo. A friend of mine in a B-29 dropped another load for luck. As he flew away, he was heard to say, hubba, hubba, mop, mop. I got another mission, that's okay. And with the confirmation, well, I'll just say, hubba, 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 be on your way. And I'll take you later in the USA.
Friend of mine in a B-29 dropped another load for love. I hope you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I got another mission, and that's very okay. And with the confirmation, well, I'll just say, hubba, 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 be on your way. And I'll take you later in the USA. Hubba, 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 take you later in the USA.
And now, a helpful hint about the family table.
Whatever concerns the family table is important to us all, and here's a good example. I'll bet you can all bake good biscuits, ladies. Tender, light, fluffy, mouth-melting. And here's a spread just made to go on these super biscuits of yours. Bluebonnet margarine. For Bluebonnet gives you flavor, nutrition, economy, all 3. Bluebonnet has a delicious flavor, fresh, delicate, country sweet. You'll say no spread at any price ever gave you more delicious eating. Bluebonnet gives you proved nutrition, too. It's rich in food energy, rich in vitamin A. As for economy, you'll find Bluebonnet saves you real money. Why, it costs so little you can spread it on twice as thick. And remember, Bluebonnet margarine is a product of the makers of Fleischmann's yeast, a name that down through the years has always stood for quality. Be sure to ask your grocer for Bluebonnet tomorrow. Remember the letters FNE for flavor, nutrition, economy. Bluebonnet margarine gives all 3. Flavor, nutrition, economy.
That was just a few flakes from Let It Snow, played by Maestro Al Goodman and his racing form rhythm boys. Say, yes, Portland?
Shall I pile these letters here?
If you will, please. Those are the last of the Jack Benny contest letters. I've been up 3 nights reading them. You know, I'm one of the judges. And speaking of letters, Portland, reminds me, could you get your pencil, please? I want to dictate a letter.
I'm all ready.
You're ready? We'll take this down. Mr. George Jessel, 20th Century Fox Studios. Dear Mr. Jessel, you are a rat, capital R. Signed, yours sincerely, Fred Allen. Get that off instantly.
Well, I thought you and Georgie were friends.
I'll never speak to Jessel again unless I happen to get a wrong number.
Gosh, what happened?
Well, last week, Mr. Jessel was here in New York. You know, he's a big producer for 20th Century Fox Pictures now, and I received a note saying that Mr. Jessel wanted to see me. So I got all dressed up, got my cane out of Simpson's, and started for Mr. Jessel's office. When I arrived at the 20th Century Fox building, I found Mr. Jessel's office a big nylon door, and I knocked on the door.
Come in, come in.
Georgie Jessel. Well, Georgie?
Excuse me, Fred. I'm on the phone at the moment. Hello, Lidget's Drugstore. This is Georgie Jessel speaking. I want 6 boxcars of Bromo Seltzer sent out to my studio in Hollywood right away. Okay.
Georgie, 6 boxcars of Bromo Seltzer?
It's for my new picture, Fred.
Bromo Seltzer?
Yes, I'm making a sequel to The Lost Weekend. It's called Saratoga Drunk.
Oh.
Laugh, son. What's the matter with you?
Saratoga Drunk sounds like a great picture.
Well, it's a new idea, Fred. An elephant drinks too much and sees 200 pink saboos.
Only in Hollywood could you possibly pick up 200 pink saboos. And Hollywood, I must say, has surely changed you, Georgie. Those clothes you have on.
Oh, well, this is my working suit, Fred. The shirt happens to have a pink dickie, but nobody noticed.
No. It's mink, isn't it? It isn't pink. It's a mink dickie. And it goes well.
That's right.
It goes well.
It says pink here, but I'll say mink anyway.
It goes well with that fur mandarin coat you have on.
Yes, this is genuine grizzly bear. Instead of the belt in the back, it has a big paw hanging down.
Oh,
this paw spelled paw.
A big paw. But as you are, you Hollywood tycoons with your paws hanging down on the back, I suppose you're still living in that house out in Beverly Hills that looks like the Rose Bowl with Venetian blinds.
Oh, you should see it now, Fred. I've had all the grass dyed white.
You have white grass?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, when the newsboy throws the paper on the lawn, the color shouldn't clash, you see? I've got lavender trees and a pink hedge and a plaid sidewalk.
Well, say, this riot of colors must be causing plenty of comment.
What comment?
Nobody even notices it?
In Hollywood, who takes off the dark glasses?
Oh, I see. Georgie, I wonder what would happen if one day everybody in Hollywood took off their dark glasses and all of the people got a good look at each other.
This is a horrible thought, Fred.
But tell me about your house, Georgie. You have a swimming pool, of course.
I have the biggest pool in Hollywood.
Well, how big is it?
Well, when you stand on one side of the pool,
yes,
from the other side you can hear voices yelling. When are they going to send us home? That's how big the pool is.
Well, you're a great success, Georgie. I saw your last picture of the Dolly Sisters. It was swell.
Well, what I did for the Dolly Sisters, Fred, I can do for you. As a matter of fact, that's why I sent for you.
Really?
I want to produce a story of your life.
The story of my life?
Yes. It'll be bigger than Darryl Zanuck's Leave It to Heaven. I had to get it in.
But Georgie, I know they have a big whip out there when you leave on the plane. But, Georgie, what actor could you possibly get to play my life? Don Amici?
No, Amici's tied up.
Really?
You know, with the telephone situation. He's sorry he started the whole thing. No, there's only one man to play your life, Fred, and that is you.
You mean that I will be the star?
Star? Why, it's your life. Everybody else in the picture is just the stooge.
I'm the whole picture.
Yes, Fred, there's just one little thing.
Yes, George.
Well, now, you know how Alfred Hitchcock always sneaks into some scene in every picture that he directs?
Yes, you always see Mr. Hitchcock in the crowd trying to get into the automat with his nickel out or something.
That's right. Now, do you mind if I do just a little bit like that in your picture?
A little bit? Of course not, George.
You know, they'll just see the back of my head maybe in a barber's chair, or maybe I'll run past the camera with a pushcart fast. Nobody will see. Suppose we just call that a producer's whim.
Well, anything you say, Georgie. Now, what is the story like?
All right, the picture opens with the 20th Century Fox signature music.
George Jessel presents
The Life of Fred Allen,
starring Fred Allen.
Say, that's wonderful, Georgie. Now what happened?
Now, as the story opens, Fred, you are 4 years old.
Now, wait a minute. Well, how can I play a 4-year-old kid?
Fred, our makeup man can do anything, really.
But I'm 6 feet tall. How can I be a kid?
You play the whole first scene on your knees.
On my knees?
Yeah, we'll glue some shoes on your kneecaps. Nobody will know the difference.
Well, if I walk on my knees, my arms will be dragging on the ground.
All right, so we'll double up your arms, stick little false fingers on your elbows.
Well, after I'm made up, what do I do in the picture?
Well, the story opens in Illinois. Now, you see, Fred...
Wait a minute, Georgie. I was born in Boston in Massachusetts.
I know that, Fred, but we have an old Illinois set left on the lot from another picture.
What picture?
Home in Indiana.
Home in Indiana.
Now, Fred, if you're going to question every little...
No, you're the producer, Georgie. Go on.
All right. The picture opens. It is morning.
To little Freddie Allen starting out in life, the world is a glorious adventure. He is on his way to school, happy, carefree. But see, he stops. The little tyke is worried. Is he late for school? By the side of the road, he sees a gaunt, lean man chopping logs. Hurrying over to this wood chopper, little Freddie says,
Sir, what is the time? The time, my son? It's time for every American to stop and ponder. Our country is at the crossroads. Sit down on this log, son. I'm only a rail splitter myself. My name is Lincoln. Abe Lincoln. Now, wait a minute. I wrote a talk, and I'm going to make it. My boy, I'd like you to hear it and tell me what you think of it. Sit down on the log, and I'll read it for you. Look, now, wait. 70 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. Now, look, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition. Now, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Now, stop the music. Stop the music.
Now, what's the matter, Fred? What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the life of Fred Allen. It starts out the whole thing is Abraham Lincoln.
Now, Fred, who is sitting there on the log listening to Abraham Lincoln? You. Now, the way the camera said, whose face is the audience? See, yours. And I want to tell you something. You were great.
I was great, yes. I didn't do anything.
You don't understand pictures, Fred.
Well, look,
Now, do you realize what America owes you? If you hadn't let Lincoln try out his Gettysburg Address on you, he might have gotten discouraged and torn up the whole business. Well, can't you hear people saying, why, if it wasn't for little Fred Allen, the Civil War might still be going on.
Now, but, George, if I was 4 years old when Lincoln was a rail splitter, today I'd be 125 years of age.
Who listens, who cares about such things in pictures? Maybe a couple of history professors who are sitting in the balcony, that's all. Or Joel Copperman. Now, pay no attention to it. Just wait till you see this next scene.
Am I in it?
Am I in it? He says, am I in it? It's all you, Fred. You're a young man, but you have taken to drink.
Drink?
Yes, you're living in Albany. It's apple country, and you're a cider fiend.
I'm full of cider, huh?
Yeah, you're full of cider. Now you have to make a decision. What will it be? Cider or success? As the scene opens, it's the waterfront. The camera's on a jug of cider in your hand. It's clutching that jug.
Will young Fred Allen be picked up by Cider Anonymous? See, he awakens, still in a stupor. He staggers up to a man standing next to a boat on the dock. Allen speaks.
Mister, what day is this?
What day is this, young man? Today is a new day in American navigation. My name is Fulton, Robert Fulton.
Now, wait a minute.
In a few minutes, I'm testing my steamboat, the Clermont. That's why this crowd is here right now. Folks, in a minute you'll see a miracle, a boat driven by steam.
Fulton's father.
All right, laugh, you fools. I'll show you. I told you my boat would go today. I'll steam down the river.
Steam's up, Mr. Fulton, steam's up.
All right, cast those ropes to stop the engine. Watch my steam.
Jeepers, the Clermont's moving.
I told you it would. Anchors away.
Stop the music. Georgie, wait a minute.
Now, what's the matter, Fred? What?
This is the story of my life. I'm already 25 years old, and so far in my whole life I have spoken twice. I have asked 2 questions.
Fred, you don't understand pictures.
I don't understand pictures, but Georgie, if I only had some lines to say, at least I could pull the whistle on the boat.
Star pulls whistles on a boat?
But what is Robert Fulton?
Look, you don't get the significance, Fred.
I did something again?
Certainly you did. You see, when Fulton faced that mob of scoffers, he was about to give up. But he saw in the crowd one face that encouraged him. The camera closes in. This face that he saw, this is yours.
You mean that I'm there on the dock?
Why, if it wasn't for you today, there would be no Fulton Fish Market. There'd be no steam. There'd be no Turkish bass. No steam. Tailors would be pressing pants by hand.
But, Georgie...
Stop complaining, will you? Because the rest of the picture is all you.
Well, it's about time. Now, what happens now?
Next scene opens down south. You started a new life, Fred. You got a job.
Good.
You're on your way to rent a room. And as we fade in, you're walking up the stairs of an old southern mansion.
Sounds good.
Yes, Fred Allen has made a comeback. He has work. His eyes are bright. The world is before him. He knocks on the door of the old southern mansion. A kindly old man with snow-white hair opens the door.
Pardon me, sir. Have you a room to rent?
Come right in, son, and set yourself down. My name is Foster, Stephen Foster.
Now, wait a minute.
I wrote a new song this morning, and I want to sing it for you.
Now, look, George.
Where down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. Jack Wellman, that's where you go today. Now stop it. All right.
Stop the music! This is the last straw.
All right, now what?
What is this picture? The life of Fred Allen or a George Jessel cavalcade?
What do you mean?
Now stop stalling, Jessel. You were just going to put the back of your head in my picture. Now first the picture, you're Lincoln, then you're Fulton, now you're Stephen Foster. When do you show up as Florence Nightingale?
Who showed you the script?
Never mind. How does the picture end?
How does the picture end? Every picture fades out with a kiss.
Don't tell me you're a contortionist and you kiss yourself.
Now listen, Fred Allen, I'm the producer.
And listen, George Jessel, I'm the star. If this is the life of Fred Allen, I won't stand for it.
All right, I'll tell you what to do. Drop dead and I'll make your life a 2 reel short.
Fine, well, I'll do that. Make an appointment. And now, Kenny, with a short talk on the American woman.
Ever since Priscilla married John Alden, the fame of the American woman has been growing. In spirit, beauty, and ability, she leads the world today. At home, above all, she is practical, especially about shopping. That's why she buys Tenderleaf T-balls in preference to all others. They are the largest selling T-balls in America because they are better in every way. In daily use with meals or between, they provide finer, richer, more delicious tea. It's famous for flavored Tenderleaf brand tea in tasteless filter paper packets. The crisp white filter paper is pleasant to see, inviting, and dainty to handle. It's entirely insoluble, so your tea is filtered as it's being made. No specks in your cup, nothing but tea goodness and a world of quick comfort. When you want quick comfort, get it this easy way. 1 Tenderleaf T-ball in your cup with boiling water added. Yes, for every good, practical reason, ask your grocer for Tenderleaf brand T-ball.
Thank you, Kenny. And now, before we stack up the Tenderleaf tea and put the bluebonnet margarine back in the icebox, I want to thank Georgie Jessel for joining us tonight. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday night, the Fred Allen Show brings you comedy. Drama.
But, Henrietta, you're too young to die.
Oh, yeah, hand me that peroxide.
And our guest will be...
that writer of hit tunes, Johnny Mercer.
Thank you. And good night.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.